This is Devoted, and you're on Small Talk with Devoted. Today, my guest is One Ton from the Bay Area, and he's gonna freaking throw us some game, man, on that underground hip hop scene. Veteran of the game. One Ton, how you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me, man. I love hip hop, man. Love underground hip hop, man. Devoted my life to it, man. So, I got stories for days, man. I got, advice. I got, harsh lessons I learned, man. Some pain, some joy and everything in between, man. So, let's go, man. Let's get it.
That's right. Well, based on that briefing, first of all, I like you said, I like that you said you're devoted to hip hop. Just saying. But yeah, man. So, based on what you just threw out there, start wherever you want to hit, man. From the beginning, the origins of hip hop for you, childhood, whatever you want to throw down, man.
I love hip hop, man. My whole life I love hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started throwing house parties, man. Like when I was a freshman in high school, and we would have like seniors from everybody in like our whole entire district coming to our parties. We just have homies and man, sell out 500 people at a house and man, have a keg up in there. We were buying kegs from the liquor store. We were like 13, 14 years old because we had the plug, passing out flyers and DJing and just trying to put the culture on, man, and just spread it because this, it's before hip hop was just really widely accepted and everywhere you can get it, So that's how I really started, and I just love hip hop, man. So then it was DJing, then making beats and rhyming and performing and everything. So man, that was my origins of hip hop, man, in Southern California, man, San Diego. Okay. And then I really got put on game, like in terms of fame, was being part of the group Potluck, and that was out of Humboldt County. So when I went up to Humboldt County, got in the group Potluck, and that's where the fame started.
And that's a duo, correct?
Yeah, it's a duo.
Yeah, like Binary Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've chopped it up with one below too, man. He's a really cool cat. You know him, don't you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Chopped it up at a few shows, man.
Okay, so you're from Humboldt. You said you were down in San Diego as a team.
Yeah. I grew up in San Diego. You know what I'm saying, and
okay.
Came up down there in the San Diego scene. But there's not a lot of rappers that were really from San Diego that were really coming out back in the day, outside of J.O. Felony, you know what I'm saying? And there was I don't know if you know a gangster rapper out of there named Mitchie Slick, but Mitchie Slick, like anytime anyone asks me who's the realest gangster rapper living, I always say Mitchie Slick because, San Diego County got 5 million people. And he was notorious, man, around the whole county of San Diego, no matter where you went, hours away, just a notorious gangster who just decided to rap. And he got his name Mitchie Slick because he never got arrested, maybe he got arrested, but he never did no real long time in jail. He always just one step ahead of the police. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he was notorious. So those were kind of like the people that were in the game, for me. But, my style wasn't, I'm not a gangster, you know what I'm saying? So I spent part of my life in the gang neighborhood, but I'm not a gangster, you know what I'm saying? I'm more of just a hustler and a weed head, you know what I'm saying? So Humboldt was kind of like the perfect fit for me when I moved out of San Diego, and then I just, I rap about my life. So kind of first people to blow up out of Humboldt, you know what I'm saying, and do a good thing.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I think I have heard of the cat you're talking about, man. I was watching, I watch a lot of different metaphysical interview get downs and stuff like that, you know what I mean? That just fill in any nooks and crannies, that might not otherwise be filled, you know what I mean? Like I do my homework, I always urge people to listen to Die Rugged Man Die, man, because that album is just crazy game, man.
Man, I did a whole tour with Rugged Man, man.
Okay.
We did like 35, 40 cities around the whole nation, man. Shared a van together, man. And like that dude is like, from a hip hop standpoint, like one of the best live music performers I've ever been around in my life. You know what I'm saying? And he's like real, man. Like he's real. Like how he talks about on his record, man, of like You know what I'm saying? Just loving life and all the ups and downs. And, you know, even the sparks about him being an asshole at times, where he could be an asshole at times too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely butted heads. But at the end of the day, I got a tremendous amount of respect for him as an artist and what he brought to the table. And, you know, I never actually told him to his face, but when other people ask me, I'll say, best one-man show with a microphone. Like, you could just give that man a microphone at a bar mitzvah, at a like senior citizens home, at like in a country where nobody speaks English, and he can like control the crowd and he can rock a show like that style of hip-hop show. Just microphone, DJ, beats, go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, well, you know, love him or hate him, he's an icon, man. I mean,
yeah.
You know, dude is a cornerstone to the game, man. You know, has been holding it down for a long time. A lot of cats don't know he was co-signed by Biggie. You know, I mean, to be a white boy, you know, co-signed by Biggie, man. I mean, come on now, this speaks for itself.
Yeah, the crazy part about it is, it's like, you know, from touring with him, you know, just kicking it with him and chopping it up, it's like, he'll tell you stories, you know, because he's an older cat, so he'll tell you stories like all these New York rappers, he knew these dudes like coming up, like they were just dudes who rapped on the corner. You feel what I'm saying? Like the Biggie, Jay-Z, all these dudes were just like, they were all part of the same circles, just like trying to get on and doing their different things at the beginning. So then as different people blow up and garner a certain amount of fame, everyone still remembers, like, you know, not that R.A. he got worldwide fame as well. Like his new record's out like charting in a hell of different countries, you know, all around the world. Mm-hmm. So he's reached his level of fame. Obviously not the level of fame as like a Biggie, you know, but he's reached a level of fame. But all those cats know who he is, and they got a tremendous amount of respect for him. Even the biggest people, like some of the biggest people in the game now, like Logic and stuff like that, got a tremendous amount of respect for him and where he's come from and what he's done.
Speaking of Logic, man, you ever heard of a dude named Kosher Dills, man?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know Kosher pretty well, man. You know, kicked it with him on a few occasions. We got a lot of mutual friends and stuff like that. But I don't know if you ever saw him, man, but he's actually the terrorist in the ISIS video with Joyner Lucas and friggin' Logic, man.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah, real talk, man. That's crazy, man. I mean, even just getting that little snippet of 43 million views. I mean, hey, shout out to Kosher Dills, man.
Yeah, for sure. Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, well, you know, dude's been on Sway and all that stuff, man. He's solid, man.
Yeah, I like Sway, man. Sway from the Bay, man. I remember the first time I did Sway show, man. I remember a feeling of accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well, I've yet to be on Sway, man. You know what I'm saying? But I've been around a lot of cats that have been on Sway. That's for sure. You know. Yeah, it's a good thing. A lot of people been up on that. I've met a ton of people in the game, man. I've planned my life completely strategically to, you know, to break through the game. Just like Pac being, you know, a roadie for Digital Underground, man. And in fact, like I've gotten so deep into the game in my omnipresent state that, like, you know, I worked for Kent Racker, who is Shock G's brother, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like crazy stuff like that, you know? I mean, like the only thing I haven't done is, you know, fully sustain for a extended period of time in music, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I've broken away from the corporate world entirely, and like I said, man, I don't know. I'm a little bullheaded, man. You know. Yeah. So anyway, but you know, that's what this is about, man. Just community and holding it down in the game, man. Just the love for the game and artistry, you know. Yeah. So tell me, did you go into higher education or anything like that, or you just dive straight into hip hop, or?
Well, I always loved hip hop my whole life, like I said, since I was 13. But you know, my father's a college professor. You know what I'm saying? He's a college professor, but also in that realm, he's like kind of revolutionary in the higher education scene. He was the first professor in the whole state of California to fight to get like ethnic studies counted as like legitimate history classes. Like before, the only history class you could take was like American history. Like if you try to take African American history or Latin American history, Hispanic, any type of world histories, they were counted as electives. You weren't allowed to major in those things. They weren't considered equal. So my father was chair of the African American Studies at San Diego State, and he fought to get that in all California state schools when I was younger. So kind of just out of respect for him and what he's always taught me, what he always did, I had a passion for hip hop. But I was just, school came naturally to me, and I promised him I would graduate from college. And so I did, that's, ultimately I graduated from Humboldt State. I got a business degree, double emphasis in management and marketing. And
is it a bachelor?
Like I said, it helped me, but really it was really more out of respect for my father. A lot of people out here don't got a father, got a deadbeat dad, or got a father on some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And my father, rest in peace, he gave me his name, I'm the third. And, I just wanted to pay respect to him and everything he did for me in my life, and go ahead and get that college degree.
Yeah, so you went ahead and got that bachelor's, huh?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it, I mean, there's a lot of cats in the game, man, that had their dads, and shoot, I grew up with my dad. My dad's a deadhead, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I had.
That's cool, man. Like, you can get a whole music thing popping through there. Like one of my closest friends that I met in the whole music business, sold merch for me for a long time. Like, he's my merchandise manager, and then went on and like did merchandise management for the whole Suburban Noise Records, and was out with like the biggest of the biggest, doing like 5,000 seaters. And he grew up, like his parents are deadheads, his mom and his dad, and he grew up, hacky sack, as a little baby, following the dead around, like as a kid. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
So I got an older brother, right? Just a little story with the hacky sack thing, man. My brother was wearing a trench coat in high school, man, and he graduated in 2003, so it was right around Columbine, right? 99, you know what I'm saying? And I'm from Colorado, Pueblo, and so they kicked the hacky sack up onto the high school roof, man, and my brother jumped up there with his combat boots and fatigues and everything with that freaking trench coat on, man, and everybody freaked out, almost threw the school into lockdown and everything. But
he's like, I'm just getting the hacky sack. Come on, I come in peace.
Yeah, well, my brother was into Marilyn Manson and all of that, I mean, went to Ozfest, all that stuff, you know what I mean? But, I was trying to, tie baby boomers into hip hop, man, cause the baby boomers are a little early for hip hop, I guess, maybe,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like with my pops, I'm like, hey Dad, did you know that, Proof, who was Eminem's right-hand man, had the only solo album he had was called Searching for Jerry Garcia.
Try to connect them.
Right. Yeah.
Music's all connected though, for real, you know what I'm saying? Especially hip-hop, because, hip-hop, generates a lot of its music from samples, you know what I'm saying? Because, Reaganomics took a lot of the music programs out of schools, so like there wasn't, people couldn't learn how to play the guitar in school no more, the piano in school no more, the flute and all those instruments were taken away in the inner city. So they had to make music and be creative however they could. So man, they took samples from records and beat on lunch tables, you know what I'm saying? And came up with music that way. So, it ties, hip-hop especially, I feel like ties into everything, man. You listen to hip-hop, man, they sample everything from classical to reggae to fucking rock to anything you can imagine. So it all ties together.
Yeah, a lot of cats freaking got over on James Brown's drummer, man. James Brown's drummer was like, the cat that got screwed probably bigger than anybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have any kind of copyright law on, beats, drum beats. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like everybody from Cypress Hill to whomever, were freaking jacking freaking James Brown's drummers, freaking patterns, man.
Yeah.
It's it's like Vanilla Ice, you know, got away with stealing freaking Queen like completely outright, basically. You know, and it's like somebody like that didn't even get. It's like, damn, at least give him an industry standard something, you know. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he probably did okay being, you know, James Brown's drummer, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember dude's name, but that was like one of the first things they had us watch at CU Denver, you know, for the music business recording arts program was Tom Dowd, The Language of Music, man. If you ain't checked that out, it's fat, man. Like Tom Dowd was an amazing pay for hire producer, and he messed with everybody from Eric Clapton to Aretha Franklin, you know, the Allman Brothers, like all kinds of cats, man. Yeah. So anyway, let's see what else we got here. So what I mean, what are some other things that you would tie into hip hop for you, man? You know, hobbies, things that you like to get down on, like you know, branching out, as you said, you know, things that tie back together to the roots of One Ton.
Well, I mean, like I said, I first started doing house parties when it came to hip hop, like throwing house parties, promoting, DJing, just like everything that was involved with like having a good time and having it be associated with hip hop. So, you know, after Potluck broke up, like, and all the people I had toured with, you know, because at that time I did over 2,000 shows, you know what I'm saying? And you know, at that time I didn't do every state in the country. I think I was at like 45 states or something like that. But I did other countries and everything. So people started hitting me up. You know, I was really in demand of like going out on tour, being a tour manager, helping people put tours together, you know, obviously performing at the same time because I do have a fan base as well. So I always looked at hip hop as one of the key factors for me in hip hop, and that I respect from other artists is if you can go to a city, get your music, perform your music, and attach to that fan base with your music, and like tell your story in their city. Because, you know, anybody can sit in their studio, man, and talk about how they're the hardest gangster. But hey, if you want to make a gangster rap record and then you're going to go to 40 different cities and you're going to go talk that shit in Detroit, South Side of Chicago, New York City, Atlanta, you're going to go to some of these spots, East Oakland. Okay, then I'll be like, all right, man, maybe you are a gangster, man. You made your gangster record. You went and talked that shit out there. Vice versa, it doesn't even have to be about drama because, you know, hip hop is political, and you brought people together, man, and try to preach about a culture that was being denied and not fully represented in the mainstream. So if, you know, you was on some Arrested Development, Save the World, you know, Black Unity, you can record that record, and then you now have an opportunity to go to all those same communities and impact the community in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what you're talking about, if you're real to yourself and you can go to different cities and perform and attach your music to those people and interact with those people and get your message across, to me, that's one of the highest levels of hip hop respect that I show other artists, and that I always try to display as myself. You know, like what I talk about in my records, man, I've been to all 50 states, man. I've been to some of the worst hoods to some of the most rich, you know, spoiled suburbs, man, and I done got my music off, man, and I done interacted with the fans. I don't kick it backstage, man. I'm at the bar. I'm in the smoking section, smoking blunts with people and, you know, vibing out. And I always prided myself in that. Like, I just want to be a man that's accessible. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that person they did all this stuff, but yo, I met that dude, man. He was cool, man. I smoked a blunt with that dude at that one show, or man, I met him that one time, man, and you know, I was just at another show as a fan, you know. So one of my homies come through, put me on a guest list. I still don't kick it backstage. I go in the audience at their show, watch the show from outside with the fans because I want to see the real show. Can't see someone's real show from you sitting back, you looking at their back the whole time. So I would just try to do that in terms of live shows. And when it comes to hip hop, to me, that's a major thing, man. Like, me and Tech actually just chopped it up on Instagram. He did a post about having live shows and what he respects about live shows. And we had a little interaction going back and forth talking about that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out Tech Nine, man. Like, without that dude, man, he opened a lot of doors for me, man. Just, you know, besides the 200 plus shows I did with him that he put me on, like just that experience of hip hop and what he taught me and just being out there with him. And then the doors that opened it up for my affiliation with him, man, did a lot for my career.
So are you independent? You signed? What's your status at this time?
Well, all our Potluck material was on Suburban Noise Records, you know what I'm saying? So Cottonmouth Kings, Head PE, all those people. So that was all the Potluck records. We did 9 records, or we had 9 records out. 3 were on the Billboard chart, the 3 that we did with Suburban Noise. I'm a solo artist.
Where'd you hit on the charts, and what tracks are those for the viewers, man?
The name of the album's straight out of, because this is albums. You know, this is when albums was going in. This isn't where like now, like, you know, you get lucky on the stream.
It ain't no Tekashi shit. I got you.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where then all of a sudden, then you're on there. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we had 3 different records hit in the top 200 on the Billboard chart. You know what I'm saying? Whole album. So that was definitely a blessing, man. And shout out Kevin Zinger, man. Ivory Daniel. Suburban Noise, man, for, you know, it's not often you get a dude who's a CEO of a record label who still gets up every morning and goes surfing, you know what I'm saying? And like, you can talk to like a real person, you know, they not know like cooped up suit and shit. You know, he let us do whatever the fuck we wanted, like literally whatever we wanted to put on the record, he was cool. He never tried to censor our shit. Like, you know, we was talking shit back in the day about whatever, you know, like, cause we're from Humboldt, so we was doing some real weed shit, you know, like when I started growing weed, we was, you know, like, federal minimums of 10 years. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no now, like it's like card carrying weed growers and shit, you know, like trying to claim New Bonnie and Clyde, and really you just, you know, Habib owning the 7-Eleven. Weed's legal now. Like you're not doing nothing now. But when I started in the weed game, that shit was like, was a real thing. So we would talk all that shit on the records, and he was fully supportive.
Yeah. So I've been to the Farm in Tennessee. You ever heard of it?
I heard of it, but I ain't never been there.
Okay, so this dude named Stephen Gaskin, man, he went out there with a bunch of caravans from, you know, just the Haight-Ashbury scene, man. Bunch of flower children loaded up a bunch of buses, dude, and just went and bought this land in Summertown, Tennessee, man. It's about 1,750 acres. And they were all following this dude, Stephen Gaskin. You know what I'm saying? He was like the good Jim Jones, if there were such a thing. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know, just you talking about, you know, the struggle, you know, with the weed and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they were growing it out there and got hit, man. Like, you know, got hit by the feds. Stephen Gaskin went to prison. Anyway, so yeah, well they tried to come raid him again, man, and there wasn't nothing out there, you know. So and then they tried to claim that like they had gotten rid of all of the plants within like a ungodly, you know, period of time. It's like it would have been an impossibility, and then there's no trace of it as well. You know, that was just somebody not wanting to admit that they screwed up trying to go in there, you know. But yeah, so what you know about the Chicharrones, man?
I'm trying to think how many shows we did together, man. Like, not a lot, man. Probably like, you know, like 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a lot, but you know, definitely, you know, rock a mic, rock a crowd. That's for sure, and good hip hop too. So can't complain.
Yeah. No, I love the Chicharrones, man. They're good people, you know. I want to stir the pot a little bit, man, and backtrack briefly. What are your thoughts on the Tekashi situation, man? Just in respect to somebody like yourself being a, you know, high end artist in the underground scene. I would suggest mainly, right? I mean, isn't that your focal point? You know, because that's what I tell people. I tell people that, you know, the mark that I've been shooting for, you know, myself has been, you know, high-end underground, low-end mainstream. Yeah. So anyway, break it down.
I mean, I made my life in the underground. You know what I'm saying? I never had no mainstream budget. You know, my budget all came off of weed plants or came off of Suburban Noise Records and Kevin Zinger cutting the check. So I feel that the underground vibe. I'm proud. I'm proud of the underground, man. I'm proud of where I came from. I'm proud of what I was able to build independently, what I became off of it. At the same time, I don't knock the mainstream, you know what I'm saying, and what can be accomplished in the mainstream and really be able to reach different people worldwide and get all that out there, man. Some people got a great message. when it comes to someone like Tekashi, I look at it like some of the things that he did to become successful at the beginning, obviously before the snitching and all that stuff, like I have respect for it. Like, yo, that's crazy internet marketing. That's crazy the way you put it together, whatever. But then some of it at the same time, personally, I never knock another man's hustle or count another man's pocket. So I ain't gonna get into how much money he made or all that and my feelings on that. But I'll just be like, I personally wouldn't have did. I'm saying, some of the trolling stuff and all that. I just, like I said, I'm the type of person who built what I built on me being me and being real and being authentic. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear some of the stories of like who Tekashi was, like a videographer who was real quiet and he really wasn't like how he was, and he kind of built this persona to kind of do what he did. You know what I'm saying? That's just something personally I wouldn't do. I ain't gonna say whether it's bad or good. I'm just gonna say I personally wouldn't have did that. Then when it comes to the snitching and all that, it's like, to me personally, just what I did in the weed game and like who I was and the people I ran with and the stuff we did, like that's just like, that's unforgivable. That's like, that's like molesting somebody's daughter. That's like, to me, there's no sorry, there's no apology, there's no nothing that you can do for redemption to move past once you do that. And that's just how I personally function. So when, somebody snitches, someone gets to talking to the police, that to me, that eliminates my ability to follow them as a fan or to respect them really even as a man.
Yeah, so when in don't get me twisted in any way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? But like, in correlation, I would say that the Tekashi thing was in a sense similar to Pac's situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, aside from the fact that Pac never claimed to be a gangster, Tekashi was claiming to be a gangster. But I'm just saying, in those respects, it is kind of a repeat of history in the sense that, Pac was a cash cow, man, and he wasn't freaking protected, right? You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, Pac also knew the game and understood the game and came up in a time, where shit was real. The crack epidemic, the whole nine, right? You know what I'm saying? Like these bubblegum, artists like even the Eminem Machine Gun Kelly thing. I mean, to me it was just like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? But and I'm not even gonna elaborate on that. I'm just gonna say that just like that. You know what I'm saying? Because
I mean, I'll just say, just for my 2 cents. I mean, everybody can have different opinions, but I think comparing Pac to Tekashi is blasphemy. Pac is a revolutionary. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like what Pac did. Like, not that he's a gangster, but Pac was from one of the most notorious gangster labels in terms of Death Row Records.
Oh yeah.
And then just from his mother being pregnant in prison and coming from the Black Panthers and all that stuff. Like,
well, yeah, Afeni freaking beat her own case, man. Looking at 300 years as her own representation. Yeah. I mean, can't nobody say some stuff like that, man. That's prodigy.
Pac shot 2 off-duty police officers who were assaulting somebody. He came to their defense. Right. So like
in Atlanta,
to me, somebody who's built like that ain't built from the same cloth of a snitch. You know what I'm saying?
No, and that's not what I'm saying at all. Comparatively, like the comparisons that I'm talking about is, for one, the 9 Trey Bloods ain't nothing. They ain't no joke. That's for damn sure. You know what I'm saying? But what I was saying is that, personally, I don't think that that he was made to be in that position, man. I think the Bloods slipped big time, man, by even putting him in that sort of position without the proper training and understanding of what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? And I will say that, with whatever repercussions come from it, because I'm just speaking sheer logic, man. I'm not. That's not fame is a drug, man. Fame is a drug, man. Yeah. Some people attach themselves to fame, man, and it can be really, it's intoxicating. You know what I'm saying? So as Tekashi blew up and some of those people got a glimpse of that fame, I could see where, it can make some poor decisions, man. Yeah, well, I think they were all blinded, man. I mean, to put a hit out on Chief Keef or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, on camera. I mean, come on, man. You're asking for it. Period. You know what I'm saying? And don't get it twisted. I hung around black gangs, brown gangs, white gangs, everybody, man. I'm half white, half Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? Like I studied the arts, you know, in higher education. I studied whatever I wanted to prior to that because I didn't have enough supervision or discipline going on, you know, from my primordials. You know what I'm saying? So like I get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like I'm not taking no shots at nobody. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. You know, Shotty, don't come for me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know, man. You know, it is intriguing to me. You know what I'm saying? Because like I appreciate what, you know, like Akon's breakdown of the game, man. And I love Akon. I don't care what anybody has to say. Like Akon is a real one, man. You know what I'm saying?
I love Akon as well.
Sure, you know, but what do you know about what Akon's doing now in respect to Tekashi, man? That's a, you know, legitimate question to you, you know. But before you answer, I just want to say like Akon has a net worth of $80 million. Or, you know, give or take, I don't know. That might be a little outdated. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he was able to get a credit line for $1 billion, man, to give 600 million Africans energy through solar, man. I mean, that's amazing stuff. And you know, for somebody like that with that sort of stature and composure, who like sort of came up on a whim, if you really look at, you know, Akon's get up, you know, because they didn't really know where to place Akon. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't rap, but he wasn't R&B, you know, so to speak. And these are his own words. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like Akon is sitting there saying, you know, Tekashi's my buddy, man. I'm gonna get on a track with that dude. And this is post, you know, everything that's occurred, man. And it just, you know, like I said, I just appreciate what he had to say. You know, I get it. I get that snitching is an unforgivable act. I also know that Akon was on a track with Obi Trice called Snitch. you know what I'm saying? But yeah, at the same time, like I said, I appreciate what China Mac was saying on Vlad. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, that Tekashi, you know, at 22 years old wasn't a kid, but Tekashi at 22 years old in 2020 is different than Chino XL or Pac or Big that had to be grown and had to, you know, like was in a position where it was life or death, and whatever his fate is, you know, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is, you know. But I'm just saying that, you know, you can't just go from, bagger at the grocery store, man, to management a week later, you know. And if you look at it relatively, that's sort of what happened. Like people were not holding their positions, if you ask me. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, management's a key thing, man, in this game. You know, a lot of people disregard the management aspect, and having someone in your corner who knows a lot about business and who can put you in the right positions. Like, you know, like how I said, man, Tech Nine, man, like I learned a lot from him, and Strange Music, and Travis O'Gwen, you know, the CEO of that label, and Corey Nielsen, who basically is the head of touring. And like, they're second to none when it comes to touring, U.S. touring, international touring, and just their live show. And all those praises I sang about RA just being a dude with a mic, like Tech Nine with having all those bells and whistles with the lighting and the sound of the music and the screens and all that stuff going back and forth. Like, to me, his show's untouchable and unmatched. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
yeah.
And I know a lot of those, like I know all those people over there. So I know, as amazing as Tech Nine is, like, and the people that he knew and the people that he ran with before he was with Travis could never blow him up. Like, Tech Nine was with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They couldn't blow him up. Tech Nine was with QD3, living in Quincy Jones' house, getting guidance from Quincy Jones, sitting on a couch underneath all the platinum records from Michael Jackson, giving life advice. They couldn't blow him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took Travis O'Gwen, a guy from Kansas City, a guy from a trailer park in Kansas City, who just really knew about business and understood Tech, like really understood him, to blow him up. So it's like, management is a key thing that a lot of people kind of like disregard. And I know a lot of rappers with talent, but until you match that right manager who can put you in those positions and guide the business part of what you're doing. Mix it with the right producer who can provide the bed of sound that you need. And then on top of that, man, you just got to roll the dice and get lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be in the right places at the right time to do different things. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my feeling on that.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, I've been around tech a little bit. You know, my brother-in-law. You know, shout out to Brandon. You know, dude, he's got tech signature on, you know, so many different unique pieces of art. And in fact, my sister actually painted a painting and sent it to Tech, man, and it's in one of his music videos. Yeah, I can't remember which one it is off top, man, but yeah.
Man, Tech is one of those dudes who's like 1,000,000% about his fans. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an attachment that he has with his fans. Like, there's fans who like do the craziest things, artwork, and send it to him and so about it. Like, he's one of those dudes that, you know, like, he'll go above and beyond for his fans that I personally ain't never seen nobody else do. And I feel like that's why they ride with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, technicians, they with him. They're with him for real. Like, so, yeah, it doesn't surprise me when you said that your sister did a art painting and sent it and ended up in a video, because
yeah.
He's 1,000,000% about his fans.
See, if I was messing with them shows, with, you know, if I was doing a show with all the bells and whistles and everything, you know what I'm saying, I would be like, see, and then, you know, have a screen share of it and show you, you know, the video and everything. But yeah, so I remember I set up for Tech 9 and Calico at Aftershock, man, in Sacramento in 2014, and that was everybody was there, man. Chevelle, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit. One of the greatest freaking performers I ever saw, you know, was The Offspring, man. The Offspring just put on a freaking amazing show, man. You know, and I've seen a ton of shows, man. Like I said, I've been a stagehand, you know, for probably 7 years. You know, just holding it down in the game, man. I've set up for Jay-Z, Nas, Kanye, Drake. You know, I mean, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and for me, you know, like I said, I was shooting for that high-end spot as a solo artist, man, and, you know, leapfrogged everybody in the Bay. Like, a lot of cats were being stingy with me out there. You know, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm real particular about the way I do things, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I got into drugs and stuff like that really young, man. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I was 20, I was done with everything, man. Like I don't smoke weed, nothing. I've been in 12-step recovery faithfully for over 10 years, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, like having that.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like just having that clear body, mind, and spirit, man, is where it's at for me. You know what I'm saying? And I live and let live. You know what I'm saying? Like. I chop it up with anybody and everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if you smoke, drink, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I've set up Super Bowl 50, you know, at Levi Stadium. I've set up WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I've been around events of, you know, damn near 100,000 people, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what you do. It ain't got nothing to do with me, man. Like I'm not going to, you know, by osmosis, you know, indulge, you know, because I'm on the screen with you right now and you're baked.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Yeah.
But
I feel that, man. Like I said, man, the way I build my thing, underground style, man. Like I kicked it with everybody, man. All different styles of people, man. I've been in all different environments, and you know, me personally, man, I've probably experimented with every drug damn near on the planet. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, certain people, they have to live a sober life. Certain people can function waking up, doing lines every day. Like, you'll be surprised, man. There's CEOs of major companies, man, like, you know, doing blow daily. You know, I look at myself as somebody who falls in between there. You know, I go out on the road, I can get down with any style party. But at the same time, I go back home, man, and kick it with my baby girls, man, and won't barely drink, won't do nothing but like smoke a little bit of weed, man, and go months at a time without doing any other drugs. So everyone just got to kind of find their lane, man, and whatever kind of works for different people, man. And you do you, I do me, man, and just vibe out that way.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And You know, I started smoking and drinking when I was like 12, man. Yeah, I mean, like legitimately, you know, heavy weekend warrior shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And my brother's about, you know, almost 5 years older than me. So by the time I was in like 8th grade, man, he was emancipated. You know what I'm saying? You know, not legally. My parents just, you know, said, cool, you want to go do your thing, go do your thing. You know, because we had lived in the trailer park, so my brother took over the trailer when we finally made it out the trailer park, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, I mean, you know, I used to be at my brother's double kegers, man, you know, 12, 13, 14 years old, you know what I mean? Just totally jacked up, like people, like, you know, just wondering what the hell I was doing there, you know, but
like I was telling you how I was throwing those parties when I was 13, 14 years old. I had my little brother at those parties. My little brother, he was little at the time. Like, he wasn't even a teenager. He was like 6, 7 years old. He'll be there at the party. You know, this is family business. This is what we gonna do. I have him like watch the back door with a golf club. You know what I'm saying? I say, you see somebody come running out the back door, try to steal something, you hit him with this golf club and you come run and get me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel it. I feel how it is having a kegger, man, and having your little brother there, man. You know, it's a family business, man.
Yeah. No, me and my boy Sean Franklin, man, and I did a mixtape with Too Shorts Getting It, man, and I talk about, you know, skipping class with my homie Sean Franklin. You know what I'm saying? And like, we were supposed to, you know, dress out for gym. It was the last hour of the day, and when they would, you know, when coach would tell us to go dress out, we would just you know, grab our shit and run out the gym across the field, across another field, you know what I'm saying? And just walk over to my brother's, break in, and, you know, find his roaches and cigarettes and whatever, man. Just the crazy stuff we do when we're young, right? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother had an 85 Monty, you know, used to go cruise it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Northern Avenue, you know, you ever come to Pueblo, got to go cruise Northern, you know what I'm saying? That's
I did some shows in Pueblo. Like, I heard you before we started recording this thing, you're talking about Black P. Like, Black P is one of my closest homies in the rap game, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we did that whole Flo Bama record with him. You know, Potluck produced it and put it out with him, and he toured with us, man. We probably did a couple 100 shows together. He was Potluck's tour manager for a while. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Real good brother, man. Like, he does a lot of good work.
That's all I ever hear, man, is good things about P, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, P was the one that put me on that show that night. You know what I mean? And I've actually hit him up, you know, waiting to hear back from him on an interview too. So, you know, tell his ass to get on with it. But yeah, no, I mean, even Chino, everybody, you know, like I got an IG of, you know, I could pull up right now where Chino's like, yeah, Black P is my.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm about to say, P fuck with Chino XL heavy. Those dudes are tight.
Oh yeah.
And what's the name too? Immortal, Chino, P, they all know each other real well.
Yeah, no, in the first time I met Immortal, man, I met him at you know, Brother Ali and in Immortal's, you know, War and Peace tour, man. And that was at it was in Inglewood. God, I can't remember the venue name off top, but anyway, it was the Gothic Theater is what it was. But anyway, so yeah, it was funny because like you know, I did the meet and greet and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like I really wanted to chop it up with Felipe, you know what I'm saying? And so what I did was, like, a week and a half prior, I wrote Matulu Shakur, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, he wrote me back, dude, promptly, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm freaking out, you know? I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think I was gonna get a letter back, right? You know what I'm saying? And then like I read this chicken scratch, you know what I'm saying? Because dude's been locked up for 30 years, right? You know, and you know, so it was kind of tough to decipher. You know, I don't know if he was in a hurry when he wrote it or what, but like, yeah, man, I had that letter in safekeeping, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it was you know, the Black Liberation Army's freaking Age of New Africa is what it was called, man. Their preamble that he sent me, right? And then he sends me a personal handwritten letter. And like talking about you make a great street soldier and all of this, man. And I'm just like, God damn, bro. I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like wondering, I wonder if he knows I'm white, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, my last name is Dubel, you know what I mean? So it's straight German, you know what I mean? But I'm Hispanic, you know. My mother's Chavez, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've been in a lot of Miklo situations, man. You know, just give me a chance, you know. What? Yeah, P's the dude, man. But yeah, freaking. So I remember I was talking to Brother Ali, man, at the War and Peace, you know, concert. You know what I'm saying, right? And we were talking about Catholicism, man, and Brother Ali pulls a freaking a personalized, you know, single pecan pie out of his pocket, man, and to throw this analogy at me, dude. I was just like, I'm never gonna forget that, you know. And then anyway, the reason why I told you that is because I wrote a mixtape over a Gangstar beat, man, called War and Peace. And when I met Chino XL and Immortal at Hip Hop for Change in East Oakland, I must have been suicidal, man. I don't know. I was you know, look, my teacher Storm Glore, shout out to Storm Glore, you know, my professor at CU, he had said, you know, make the collision, man, right? You know what I'm saying? So he's like, if you don't remember anything from this marketing class, remember to make the collision, right? So I've always been, you know, lining up that chess game, man, you know, to get in these sort of positions in guerrilla marketing and just being highly metaphysical. I attribute the highly metaphysical, you know, aspect of myself to cats like Chino and Immortal, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I walk up to Chino, right? In East Oakland, and I tell him, I go, yo, Chino, what was that beef between you and Tupac about? And yeah, man, he just looked at me like he was ready to turn green, straight Hulk status, and end my shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I wouldn't have blamed him if he did, man. But for whatever reason, like he chilled, you know, and we ended up chopping it up for like an hour and a half, and I showed him and Immortal my that song, man, friggin' War and Peace, you know. But one more thing, real quick. So after that, you know, Chino's giving me shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And you know, he's like, I'm not gonna sign that Bronco cat, right? And that's a ballsy move. I rode the East Oakland solo in a Bronco cat, man. I did it strategically for what you're talking about, right? Right, talk your shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm about mine, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hesitate to take it off when shots were being fired in Antioch and I was wearing my Bronco cap. I'm like, shit, they might try to hit me, so I tucked it in my shirt. You know what I'm saying? It was like the first night I got to the Bay when I moved out there. But anyway, yeah, man, this is that Bronco cap, right? And Chino told me that he wasn't gonna sign it. And then, you know, their boy Archie or whatever, you know who I'm talking about, right? Dude, rest in peace, you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Well, as soon as I showed him that, you know, dude's autograph, he's like, yeah, give me that. I'm gonna sign that, right? So this has been signed by, you know, freaking Poison Pen. In fact, even Black Pegasus signed this. But yeah, look, there's I South Divine. Yeah, there's Chino there, and then freaking Poison Pen. Yeah, no, that was actually Black Pegasus here, but you can hardly see it. Anyway, but yeah, man, you know.
I feel that, man. Like I told you, I spent half my life in San Diego, so I refuse to sign any Raiders cap. There's actually one person who got a Raiders cap. People will come up to me with Raiders gear, I'll be like, bro, I won't sign it. They'll be like, why? I said, man, I'm a Charger fan. I don't fuck with the Raiders at all. Even though, like, the godfather to my daughters is a Raiders fan, you know, a couple of my best friends on the planet are Raiders fans, but that's one of the things. Like, I won't sign no Raiders gear. But there's one dude who got me to sign his Raiders hat. Just had a real interesting story and just really appealed to me on that level. And kind of at the end, like you said, you gave him the Broncos hat and he was like, nah, but then he was like, okay. and that was the one time I did it.
Well, yeah, no, it was extremely sentimental to him, man, because like he saw dudes, autograph on there, you know what I'm saying, and he had just recently passed, probably within like the past year, I think, and he even stopped Immortal from what he was doing, like broke up his conversation, he was like, look, did you see this? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so it was pretty cool, man. Yeah, man, I've had a lot of cats, chop it up with me just cause I can add value to them, man. In one way or another. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I've had Too Short come and chop it up with me.
I
Actually,
did a few shows with him too, man.
yeah,
I
no,
did. I've done a lot of shows with a lot of people, man.
I'm so
3,000 plus shows, man. My
damn.
career so far, man.
Damn, that's what's up, dude. For real, for real. Like I've gotten a lot in, man, because I've traveled, 19 different states at this point. You know what I'm saying? But I was street performing, man, just straight constitutionalist, man. Like no permit, no nada, man. And I've dealt with a lot of BS because of it. But I've always been a man to just stand on my principle, man. I can't even tell you how many death threats I experienced out there and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy, man. I dealt with some real insanity out there in Hollywood. Cause I was taking that that main spot, man. I don't know if you know who Vibe Moore is, or you ever heard of him?
Mm.
Yeah. Like I met a ton of people in Hollywood, man. I met the homie that played Warren G in Straight Outta Compton.
All right.
Chopped it up with Omar Gooding a bit on IG. Got connected with him. Yeah.
We're seeing dude who played Easy E on the Straight Outta Compton, man, at the game show. I was backstage at one game show when he played right across from Staples, man, at Nokia. And I met Whack 100 that day for the first time too. But they gave him his own dressing room. This is right after Straight Outta Compton came out, so he had his own dressing room, like he was performing. He was just the homie there. So I was like, man, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I was in Richmond, California the night that Keek the Sneak got shot this last time, man.
Man,
like right, just late night, you know what I mean? Had just gotten out of a gig that I was doing or whatever, man, and then, like literally heard, I don't know, a few hours later, like literally within I don't even know how many hours, you know what I'm saying, that Keek the Sneak got shot 8 times, man, I mean,
crazy.
boy, yeah, I've been trying to get in touch with Keek, man, and God damn it, his name's eluding me. Off top, the homie from Sacramento, man, just got out the pen. Did 26 years on murder.
My X-rated.
Yeah, X-rated. I don't know why his name was eluding me off top, man. Boy, yeah, like I'm sure you probably heard of H Wood, huh?
Heard, but I don't.
Yeah, cause he's from Sacramento and he's done work with like T Nutty and Tupac's
I know,
Outlaws and
I know T Natty. I met T Natty when he was a youngster, man, coming out there with Tech, man. He was coming out there because he had that double time flow and all that, and he was trying to come out there and kind of get on with Tech a little bit. They knew a couple different people, and he'd come out there and kick it. I think he ended up getting locked up or something, man. And then I after that I had lost touch with him.
yeah.
But he was cool. He was cool. He was a kick it.
So what do you want to let these cats know about where to find you and all that? I'm gonna throw in a nice page that'll show where you and I are at. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I mean, all my socials, you can follow me, Potluck 1 ton, the number 1 TON. You know what I'm saying? You can search my discography under my group, Potluck, all the stuff I did. I got some solo work I'm doing now under 1 ton. Got some YouTube videos out, man, just kind of launching my whole new digital scene now. So, over this next year or so, you'll be able to catch up on all the different digital platforms with my new solo material. And yeah, man, I'm dropping my next record is called OGMC, and it's basically just I've recorded, man, so many songs with it, man. Got features from a lot of different cats, and just kind of whittling it down, trying to perfect it, man. I'm putting it out kind of as like an ode to hip hop and an ode to everything, devoting my life to hip hop and all the different aspects of it and the lessons I learned. And just one of those records that a young rapper can put on and learn from. You know, an older person can put it on and reminisce about their time and their life. You know, and then everything in between. You know, I got songs on there, you know, about love and relationships, about higher education, you know, about just building your own stuff, standing on your own too, man, grinding. You know, interracial stuff, man, about, you know, racist things and, man, stuff I've encountered in my career and my path. And yeah, I just try to, like I said, man, I just try to speak stories on my life, you know, keep it 100, man. And I'm just, you know, I'm very fortunate, man, that I was able to attach to people and a lot of people could relate, man, and be able to make a living off this, man. I ain't never had no job in my life except for growing weed and rapping. So I'm very fortunate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's the dream, brother. You know, freaking yeah, no, I can't say that myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I've worked a lot of 9 to 5s, man. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I'm one of them cats that just I lead an all-encompassing life, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, one falls, we all fall, sort of thing. You know, but I'm complicated, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Still.
It's all good. Everybody got a different path, man. I never, like I said multiple times in this interview, I never knock another man's hustle, man. Everyone got a different path and come from a different spot and put it down a different way. There's not no one way to do it, man.
The way I see it, it's like, I don't know if you live more than once or not, man. I'm eclectic. I'm eccentric. Like I'm as open as they come, man. I believe that open-mindedness is the bridge to the experience of others. You know what I mean? So I'm open-ended. I'm just a vessel. You know what I'm saying? Of goodwill, of God, as it were, right? You know what I'm saying? But so I don't know if you live more than once or not, right? But if you do it right, once is all you need, man. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like I've, you know, compromised, you know, as we were told in music business school and recording arts and all that, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was called the rub, man. You know what I'm saying? The middle ground. It's like you got the whole, you know, 360-degree get up, right? You know what I mean? And then where you're hitting at, you know? So I don't know, man. You know, balance is what it's about for me. You know, being ambiverted. You know, balance traits between extrovert and introvert, you know, and yeah, man, you know, like when I was younger, I had basically been on probation from 15 to about 20, you know, pretty much, you know what I'm saying, and even through that, like, I was just a knucklehead, man, you know, like my dad was running with some banditos and stuff like that, or, you know, had him around because of where we were living at. We were like right downtown. I don't know if you ever heard of Zippers, man, if you were in Pueblo around that time or whatever, you know, but that was like one of the...
And it's like a burger joint, ain't it?
Yeah, it was right next...
Yeah, I ate there before.
Right next to Papa Jose's.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't remember Papa Jose's, but I remember eating at that burger joint Zippers before.
Yeah, on Union Avenue. So you know, like I started prep cooking there when I was 16, and then when I was 18, I started bar backing, and by the time I was 18, I had already had 2 DUIs. You know, but I was still selling weed and whatever else, you know, was coming in the mix, right? You know what I mean? So like literally, I lived right across the alley from Zippers. I mean, literally, you came out my gate, there was the alley, and there was the Zippers parking lot. Like I lived right there, right? So I was slanging on probation, working at the bar, and working at Papa Jose's next door, man. It was like I had the spot, man. You know what I'm saying? Like was, you know, rapping with whoever was being booked there, man. You know, check out Planet O, man. They're a Rocky Mountain reggae friggin' New Orleans funk band, man. Like dudes are off the hook, man. Like I don't know if you ever heard of have you ever heard of Crash Karma?
Nah.
Yeah, like they're hardcore, man. They used to be called like Suicide Holiday. Did you ever hear of them? Anyway, yeah, there were so many people that freaking came through that spot, man. Like I was able to freaking, you know, get down at Chili Festival, you know, which is like That's something you might look into booking, man. See if you can freaking book Chili Festival in Pueblo, bro. Like there'll be thousands of people there, or the state fair. Like, yeah, man. Shoot, freaking holler at me about some of that, man, for real, cause I know people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm always down for the get down, man. I do a show anywhere, anytime, man, for any amount of people, man. I done rocked over 100,000 people. I done rocked one person in the crowd, man, and everything in between.
Do you barter a lot, man, in the game?
Man, I've done everything, man. I've got paid big to do shows. I've done shows for free, man. Like hustling and fucking, networking, man, trading favors and exchange of connections, man. Man, that's how I got half the shit I got in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always working, man, and I'm always man, I got stuff like that on the new record, man, talking about that, man. Use what you got to get what you need. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, leverage.
Always a way.
Leverage that shit.
Yeah.
So cool, man. Well, there you have it, folks. This is 1 ton of the rap duo, formerly known as Potluck. Would that be correct to say? Yeah. So just remember, you heard it here on Small Talk with DVOTED. I'm DVOTED, as you see right there. No. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. We'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt.